1862, gold was discovered in southwest Montana, leading John Bozeman to establish his namesake Bozeman Trail through to the Bighorn Mountains. This unfortunately cut straight through Sioux and Cheyenne hunting grounds. Major General William Tecumseh Sherman, the commander of the Military Division of the Mississippi, decided that he would build forts on the Bozeman Trail to protect miners and settlers. These forts were named Fort Phil Kearny and Fort C.F. Smith. Red Cloud, the de facto leader of the Oglala Sioux, was rightfully upset and believed that the United States had negated on treaties by building forts along the Bozeman Trail through their hunting grounds. He launched multiple attacks on the forts as well as the trail. The commander at Fort Phil Kearny, where I'm standing, Colonel Henry Carrington, led a very small band of inexperienced troops armed with 1861 muzzle-loading Springfields, as well as having absolutely no cavalry. Carrington was born in 1824 in Connecticut, before moving to Ohio. He became the Adjutant General of Ohio and organized militias and volunteer regiments before and during the United States Civil War. Unfortunately, Carrington was not particularly a military man. He had graduated with a law degree at Yale and practiced law prior to his service, which he only got by being friends with the governor of Ohio, Solomon Chase. During the U.S. Civil War, Carrington was actually involved in espionage and spying, something that many people do not really think about when they talk about the United States Civil War. Post-war, however, Carrington was sent to build the fort here at Fort Phil Kearny in 1866 with the 18th U.S. Infantry, of which he was commander. By September 1866, Red Cloud had assembled 1,500 native warriors to his command, including the Northern Cheyenne, the Northern Arapaho, and various Sioux tribes, such as the Hunkpapa, the Oglala, the Sanzark, and the Mininkaju. The United States, however, was unprepared, and after multiple failed skirmishes, one of the captains of the command here at Fort Phil Kearny, William Fetterman, stated that the fight was a failure and Carrington was not fit to conduct one. Luckily for the United States, they managed to get some cavalry support out here in Wyoming for the first time, but only 50 arrived. Fetterman was born in 1833 in Connecticut. He had served with the 1st Battalion of the 18th United States Infantry during the Civil War and later commanded the 2nd Battalion during the 1864 Atlanta Campaign. After the war, he was moved out to Wyoming along with the rest of his regiment, and of the new commander, Carrington, he stated that he was afflicted with an incompetent commanding officer, which, to Fetterman's defense, was true. Fetterman notably claimed that a company of regulars could whip 1,000, and a regiment could whip the whole array of hostile tribes. Fetterman did not. On the cold, frosty morning of December 21st, 1866, at 10 a.m., a wood train leaves from a sawmill behind Fort Phil Kearny, heading towards the Bozeman Trail. Native scouts attack this small party of woodcutters and soldiers, and pickets from the nearby hill rush back to Fort Phil Kearny to inform Carrington of the impending fate. At 11 a.m., Fetterman leads 49 men northwards in pursuit of the Indian decoy party, of which Crazy Horse is likely to have been a part of. They pursue them wildly far from the fort, and are later joined by C Company of the 2nd Cavalry under the command of Lieutenant George Drummond, as well as 4 civilians. Captain Frederick Brown also joins. Even though he is days from mustering out, he wants to, quote, get a chance to get Red Cloud's scalp. At 12:45, the cavalry arrive on the field first and are hit by a tidal wave from the west and the north of native warriors. The cavalry are pushed northwards to a further hill, while Fetterman, who's coming in support with his infantry, are stuck on Massacre Hill behind me. They are swamped and covered by Indians who were armed with bows, lances, and mostly clubs. They absolutely crush Fetterman's small command of just 40 or so men, and everybody is wiped out. Fetterman's men only managed 2 volleys against the onslaught. The cavalry fall back to Cavalry Knob behind me near this tree. They are overwhelmed as well, although they fight on for much longer than Fetterman, according to Indian accounts. Everybody in their command is killed as well. From the fort comes a command under Tenador von Eyck, who is looking to support these troops. When he arrives, however, on the hill, he finds that they are all dead, and he will not pursue the Indians unless he is given more artillery as well as more ammunition. The Indians do not want to continue this battle and decide to pull back themselves, leaving Van Eyck to watch them. All 81 troops and civilian scouts were killed here. Once Van Eyck's party arrived, they resumed to bury the dead. However, he quoted that some had the tops of their skulls cut off and their brains taken out, others their arms cut out of their sockets. Another said that we picked them up, that is, their internals, and did not know the soldiers they belonged to. One man had 150 arrows stuck into his body, and all were stripped naked. So why were these people mutilated? In accordance with native rituals, those who would go to the afterlife should not be able to pursue their Indian killers. As well as this, they were furious from the 1862 Sand Creek Massacre in Colorado, and they wanted revenge of some sort. Unsurprisingly, the United States was furious in the aftermath of the Fetterman Fight, and they sent more troops in various punitive expeditions around the area, including the Wagon Box Fight a couple miles away from where I'm standing in 1867. Red Cloud's War, as it is named, finished in 1868 with a humiliating defeat for the United States, in which they sued for peace. With the 1868 Treaty of Fort Laramie, however, it was very one-sided towards the United States, unsurprisingly. General Ulysses S. Grant wished to court-martial Carrington, as he was blamed for the Fetterman Fight. However, William Sherman stepped